John Rhys Davis here, Salah in Indiana Jones, and Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Give 'em hell, 3 guys and a flick.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
You think you're merely sending this splendid foot soldier back to Oregon with his tail between his legs? But I say you are executing his soul. And why? Because he's not a Baird man? Baird men. You hurt this boy, you're going to be Baird bums. The lot of you. And Harry, Jimmy, Trent, wherever you are out there, fuck you too.
Three guys and a flick with Duncan and John. Dive into the movies well after the dawn. From the good to the bad to the wildly absurd. They give a fuck about films. Their voices are heard.
Welcome back. You are listening to Three Guys and a Flick. This is where we review the good, the bad, and the absurd. Tonight's episode, Scent of a Woman. Beware spoilers. Coming to you from the Baird disciplinary hearing, my name is Don. And to my right, we have the comic book guy, John.
Hooah!
And to my left, we have the professor, Ken.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Hey, can we get some order in here, please?
Order? This whole thing's out of order.
You're out of order. Oh, wait, that's the wrong Pacino movie, but I like where your head is at. Tonight, we are talking about Scent of a Woman. Scent of a Woman comes to us via the Bronco helmet and was submitted by our listener, Ori. So thank you for submitting that. We appreciate it. This one's for you. Released on December 23rd, 1992, Scent of a Woman was directed by Martin Brest. Screenplay by Bo Goldman. And it stars Al Pacino, Chris O'Donnell, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Richard Venture, Bradley Whitford, James Rebhorn, Gabrielle Anwar, and a bunch of other scholars and assholes. Hooah!
How'd this movie do, Don?
This movie was made for $31 million and brought in $134 million. So, yeah, not too bad, right?
Did you guys see this movie in the theater?
Yes, I did. Did you?
I don't remember if I saw it in the theater or not, but I was definitely struck by the movie. It's a real possibility that I did.
What about you?
I was actually working for the Arts and Entertainment Department at the University of Washington when this movie came out. So I got to see a really early preview of it. And I remember liking it and kind of being blown away. But the weird thing is the only time I've seen this movie. I have not rewatched it since.
So
What the fuck?
So
Yeah.
I'm watching it last night.
Wait,
I'm out of town.
Is this your first time?
No, I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, because you just said that. Yeah.
So I'm watching it last night. I'm out of town, and my buddy Zach and I, you remember Zach, he was on the podcast.
Uh-huh.
Listeners, if you want to know who Zach is, Mallrats episode. And I'm watching it, and as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, you know what? I haven't seen this since the theater. But I specifically remember the theater experience because it wasn't what I expected. And again, last night, I was very pleasantly pleased with this film.
So you've seen it once. John, you've seen it once. I know I've seen it a couple of times. And this last time around for the pod does not disappoint in the least.
Yeah.
I actually watched this movie with my dad. And even before we started, he kept saying, I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I know I've seen this movie. I like the movie. It's a good movie. I know I've seen it. We get to the end of the movie. And he's like, I don't remember that movie.
I was wondering where that was going to go.
God bless you, Rick. That's what I'm going to say. This movie is directed by Martin Brest.
Which I immediately jumped to Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, I, for some reason in my head, thought he directed GoldenEye. That's Martin Campbell.
Yeah, okay.
So
I was surprised how few movies he has actually directed.
Martin Brest?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the ones he has, I mean, we'll start with what he's probably best known for is Beverly Hills Cop. And then he does Midnight Run with De Niro and Gruden.
Yes.
Have you seen that? Grodin.
Yeah, and I listeners, I would love to have that thrown in there because this movie has a lot to unpack to it. My experience initially when I saw it versus where I am today, I am eager to talk about this.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Okay, there you go. And then he goes on to do Son of a Woman, Meet Joe Black, which
I want that one to be in the helmet if it's not already, because I actually liked that movie with Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
listeners.
Please and thank you.
And then last one he has on the IMDb.
Oh, jeez.
The last one he has on the
Jeez.
IMDb list is Geely, the first Bennifer debacle.
I've never seen that movie. Have you?
I
I believe you have, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I suffered through it. And I mean, if I had to pick a Ben Affleck and J-Lo movie, it would for sure 100% be Jersey Girl. So, listeners, Jersey Girl, please and thank you. What'd you guys think of the director in this?
I thought the directing was good. I liked some of the camera angles. I liked the way that they had the shots of looking at Al Pacino, looking at Chris O'Donnell, those kind of things. What really kind of blew me away was the music choice for this. Because again,
Fucking A.
I'm usually not the person that talks about music or how it impacts me in movies.
But that's where it is.
But the music was so good at setting the tone. of
Thomas
this movie.
Newman. Thomas Newman.
Yeah. And that accordion piece is pretty good too.
Come
Right.
on, man.
It's like throughout the whole thing.
But I got to tell you that the composition score that we have throughout this movie, it parallels so closely with Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. But Thomas Newman has done a lot of other stuff, several of which we have reviewed.
Oh, you don't say, do you?
Oh, I do. I do not have a conclusive definitive list, but just off the top of my head, we have 1917, we have Shawshank Redemption, and The Lost Boys.
Oh, he did The Lost Boys?
He did.
Did he do the saxophone solo?
I do not know that.
He might have wrote it, but that dude, the buff dude, he was definitely playing that shit.
He's still touring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, the biggest problem I think with this movie is it kept making me want to sniff Julie's hair, and she got really annoyed with that.
Okay, so when she's getting annoyed, you just turn to her and say, "Suck it up, Buttercup."
Yeah, well, they do say for better, for worse, right?
Did you know that this was based off of a book, and then the book became another movie, like a French movie, and then that French movie was used to inspire this movie?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I did not know that this movie had quite a history.
I did not know that.
Let's talk about this cast, and let's start with the Academy Award winning Al Pacino.
He won his first and only Academy Award
Yes,
for
sir.
this movie. I guess he was nominated a total of 9 times, 7 times before he got this award.
Yeah.
Nine times?
And,
9 times?
and
I don't remember him being
Was-
nominated 9 times.
was also for the same awards nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Glenn Ross.
Yeah.
You ever see that one?
No, I have not seen that one. Is that a good one?
Yeah, that's a cooker, baby. So who did he go up against in the Academy Awards that he won over to get Best Actor?
In 92? Oh, so, yeah, okay. Can I have other film? Not an actor, but another film.
Chaplin.
Oh, RDJ.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, 92. Robin Williams?
Unforgiven.
Clint Eastwood.
Yes, sir. Malcolm X.
Denzel, my man. So it's Denzel, Pacino, RDJ, and Clint Eastwood.
And some other guy. I don't remember who it was.
Oh,
But come on. That's some serious chops that he's going up against right there.
yeah. But but you also have to look at the films, and that's a whole other discussion for another time.
Oh, fucking A, yeah.
I will just say this: rightly deserved for Pacino.
There's a lot of people out there, I guess, that say it was a pity award. They were just giving it to him because he had been nominated so many times. I disagree
Fuck
with
that.
I feel like he earned it with this
He
movie.
earned it.
Hey, all of you who said that it was a pity award, wherever you are out there, fuck you too. Hooah! So it's safe to assume that we all think that he did a phenomenal job and was deserving of the award.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
He went through so much, just like he even went and trained at a blind academy, learned to unfocus his eyes. In between takes, he would stay in character and not make eye contact with anybody. I mean, he went method on this to just really get into this role. And I guess even on the scenes like that suicide scene when he was off camera, he was yelling at Chris O'Donnell to get him to be emotional.
Yeah, well, there it is on the screen.
Mhm.
I mean, he left it all out there. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, the crazy thing is when he was first offered this role, he turned it down. It was his agent that talked him into doing this role.
So I hope his agent got a nice little bump.
Yeah, because originally when he turned it down, they looked at Jack Nicholson, they looked at Harrison Ford, they looked at Dustin Hoffman, and they looked at Joe Pesci all to possibly do this.
I'd only go with Joe Pesci.
I wouldn't go with any of them.
Even Stallone was attached at one time to this movie.
Well,
No.
maybe I take that back. I bet you Sly could pull it off.
I don't think he could have been just as much of a dick as Pacino in this movie.
Oh, I think he could. I think he could easily.
So this movie was nominated for 4 Academies. It won for Best Actor. It was nominated for Picture, Director, and Adapted Screenplay. Ultimately, it did lose Picture and Director to Unforgiven.
Yeah. As soon as you said Unforgiven,
I remember
all
that
comes
one
back to
winning
me,
a bunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put Unforgiven into the Bronco helmet?
I'm pretty
Please.
sure it's in there, bud.
If it's not, would you please put it in there? There's so much to unpack with this movie. I would love to dissect it.
No, it's not in there.
Damn
So,
it!
There you go.
All right, people, would you please put Unforgiven
Yes.
into the Bronco helmet?
Please put it in there so I can tell the professor in every which way he is wrong.
Let's do that movie, Every Which Way But Loose.
Or any
Every
which way you
but-
can.
Or Every Which Way But Lose, not Every Which Way But Loose.
I always thought it was loose.
So did I. Is it lose? Chris O'Donnell, Robin himself.
I probably am in the minority here, but I didn't love him in this movie. I know it's one of his first roles. He's still early in his acting, but he was good, but I almost felt like so many other people could have played that role just as well or better.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. What about you?
You know, I appreciate what you're saying, John, but at the same time, what I think tips him over just a little bit higher is his body language. So it works for me because of his body language.
Yeah, in 92, you have a plethora of up-and-coming actors who are now just, movie stars. And at the time, I think that Chris O'Donnell actually holds his own with Pacino in this. And you're right, Professor. It's his nonverbal cues. And there's a lot of powerful stuff in this that I completely forgot about. And watching it last night, I was actually kind of blown away by him. And I'm not normally a Chris O'Donnell fan per se.
Batman and Robin?
I mean, that's what I equate him to. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
But where do you go to after that with him? Exactly. And that's me too. It is a void. So his passive, gentle, but firm demeanor that he carries throughout the movie to foil against the abrasive, over the top that we get from Frank, he holds his own against Frank. And with that, I appreciate his character.
And I kind of, you saying that kind of reminds me of, I think Pacino has a lot to do with that as well. I think Pacino can sell O'Donnell's performance along with O'Donnell, and I think the pair pull it off very nicely.
Right, that they work together to make the tapestry beautiful.
Right.
His whole character was supposed to represent going from, being a boy to achieving manhood. He was kind of losing his innocence and his naivete. And, that's, I think, what he was to represent in this movie.
And they pulled it off.
Mm-hmm.
The story is it's simple, right? It's a story of humanity at the end of the day.
And honor.
And integrity.
And, Charlie's no fucking rat.
And dignity.
Yeah.
And
dignity is undersold, but it is very much a central core what both of these people want.
And being a pervert.
Well, I think that's just like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Hoo-ah!
Do you know who auditioned for that role, Charlie?
Yes. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Brendan Fraser, and Leo.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. They all auditioned for it. Chris O'Donnell won it. Do you know who auditioned or who wanted to audition but was denied being allowed to audition for it?
Yeah, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Philip Seymour Hoffman. This was his first role. Rest in peace. What'd you guys think of him? He wasn't in it a lot, but what'd you think of his first acting role?
Oh, I thought it was fine. I completely forgot he was in it. And so when he shows up in the opening, I'm like, oh, yeah, look at him. But he was fine. I mean, he fit in at Baird. So, yeah, I bought it.
I felt like instantly when you meet him, you don't trust him, and you're meant not to trust him.
Oh, the whole friend.
A whole lot of them.
The whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
All a bunch of preppy assholes.
Yes. Douchebag fuckers that you should not have anything to do with because they're just going to fuck you over the second it makes them better or convenient.
Wait,
Spoiled
spoiler alert.
Spoiled Nepo babies?
Sure. Absolutely. George.
But yeah, he credits this movie, or he did credit this movie as what really launched his career.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else in this cast jump out at you?
For some reason, I thought Gabrielle was in the movie more than she was.
Oh, I remember her only being in it for the dance.
Yeah. 'Cause
That's what I remember.
I
as
thought
well.
maybe her and Charlie were going to hook up at some point. But
No, Frank was trying.
oh, he was trying to pimp him out.
Yes, he
hard.
was.
So,
Yeah, nobody else except for the principal. I know we've seen him in a bunch of different things.
oh yeah. Yeah, James Rebhorn.
Didn't we just have him in a movie?
I want to say yes, but I can't put my finger
It's been
on
recently.
it.
He was in the one of the Fokker movies,
Oh, he's in Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
But he
that's what
wasn't
it is.
on that one.
It was more recent.
Jesus, fucker. The cat doesn't even have thumbs. What else?
Nobody else really jumped out at me in this movie. Not even I don't recognize the other rich kids from anything.
No, the main one with the long hair, he was in a bunch of stuff in the 90s, and he was kind of always that same character.
Mhm.
So that's what I remember him from.
Yeah, Havemeyer. Fucker.
Huh?
The character's name was Havemeyer.
Havemeyer. Yeah, that guy. Fuck him, too. Hoo-ah!
Gentlemen, I have some trivia questions, and I think that you are both going to do well in this, and I think it's going to go to the tie-breaking question.
Are you sharpshooting me? Don't you sharpshoot me, boy.
The answer is tits.
No.
It's the scent of a woman.
Question number 1. Where are Havemeyer, Willis, and the other lowlifes staying at in Vermont?
Dawn.
Don?
Snowflake Resort.
No.
Can I guess, John?
Yes.
Stad? Staad?
No, that was in Germany.
It was
or
$3,000 to
Disclose.
get there. And then it was also, he called them Sugar Bush, but that's not where they were staying.
The correct answer is the Sagebrush Lodge. Question number 2. Frank says there's only 2 syllables in this whole wide world worth hearing. What are they?
Dawn. Pussy.
Point to Don.
I was ready there to say it.
Question number 3. What is Frank's drink of choice that he orders multiple times during his time with Charlie?
Dawn.
John?
Jack Daniels?
Don?
Double Jack and Coke on the rocks.
Don, I will give you that answer. What he says is double Jack Daniels on the rocks. So that is really damn close. Closer than John's. Question number 4. What is the name of the young girl that Frank dances the tango with?
Gabrielle Anwar.
You didn't say your name, fucker.
I
Dawn.
didn't.
Gabriel. I will go with Molly.
John, do you have an answer? Because that's not correct.
Wendy.
Donna.
Donna. That was close.
Oh my God, it was Donna.
Question number 5. During the climactic showdown between Frank and Charlie, Frank demands Charlie to give him one reason not to kill himself. Charlie responds with, "I'll give you 2. What are they?
Dawn. The best tango dancer he's ever seen and the best Ferrari driver he's ever seen.
Point to Dawn. And this week's winner is Dawn.
Charlie Sims is a scholarship student at the elite Baird-school, struggling to fit in among wealthy classmates. When he takes a Thanksgiving weekend job watching over retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade, he expects an easy paycheck to get him home for Christmas. Instead, he meets a blind, decorated Vietnam veteran who is bitter, sharp-tongued, and heavily dependent on alcohol. At school, Charlie and other student George Willis Jr. witness a prank targeting the headmaster's car. Headmaster Trask pressures both boys to identify the culprits, offering Charlie a major incentive, a guaranteed path to Harvard. Charlie refuses, for now, but faces a looming disciplinary hearing after the holiday. Meanwhile, Frank unexpectedly drags Charlie to New York City, setting the stage for a weekend that will challenge both of them.
So the movie opens with we're on a school campus, and we find Charlie, and he is looking at the board with a bunch of different messages on it, and we are told, "Oh, Thanksgiving weekend jobs." Okay, so Charlie's looking for a Thanksgiving weekend job.
We also find him when he meets up with his friends. We're quickly introduced to, okay, all of his friends are rich, and Charlie is poor.
They are a bunch of douchebag, over entitled weasels.
Yes, they are.
And they're all talking about this ski trip, and one of them's like, "Hey, you want to come? It's only $1,200." And they know Charlie can't afford that. He's there on scholarship.
Charlie's like, "Dude, fuck off. You know I can't afford that."
The leader is this little prick named Havemeyer, and he just oozes slimy, elitist, privileged shit.
Yes.
You have to wonder why Charlie's even friends with these guys.
For whatever reason, he got into their wake, and he's just being pulled along gently by them.
Because he doesn't seem to even really like them.
Right. I was thinking the same thing. He's probably not really friends with them, more like acquaintances. He does not like them, but he doesn't want to hang out with them, right?
Charlie, he is at his Thanksgiving job interview, and he also briefly meets the colonel, and he goes back, and he's like, no, you got the job.
Would you guys have taken the job? I mean, obviously he needed the money because he wanted the money to fly home for Christmas.
I don't know. I suppose if I was in the same situation as him, probably.
I mean, it's supposed to be an easy job. He's just supposed to be able to sit around and watch TV.
Kind of, sort of, but when you meet Frank, holy shit, what an intro. He just drills you hard.
Yeah, he calls you an imbecile, idiot. I mean, he really pushes Charlie.
We got a moron here.
Yeah. And we learn a lot about Frank right away, right? We learn that he's an alcoholic.
Because of the way he pours.
Yep. And he speaks his mind.
You kind of also get the impression that this guy has already kind of written off life. I mean, he just hates the world.
We're starting to get that impression. But, what leads us into this is the last thing that we get from Karen. She says, down deep, the man is a lump of sugar. That's the last thing Charlie is told before he goes in to meet him. But we get the opposite of that. But still, that's the last thing that we're told about him.
Right.
The one thing I thought I really appreciate with this movie is it really goes from, him being a dick and not liking him to there being moments where he's just seems like there's so much more to him and you really do like him. And you kind of keep going back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the arc of it, right? And there are little moments throughout the film that we'll touch on, but I agree with you. They do a really good job of setting you up to kind of not really like this guy, but there's a turn coming. You're just waiting for it.
But he's also flamboyant, and you feel like that he is decidedly, prospectively, he is sharp in, accessing what he determines to be. This is the truth, because that little bit, when he says Baird-school, bunch of runny-nosed snots in tweed jackets, all trying, oh my gosh, and the way that he just, dissects and dresses down, to the brutal truth of moments that he is experiencing, it's like, okay, This is the brutal, naked truth, for better or for worse.
Right.
One thing that I didn't really catch until I was putting together my notes after this, I wrote it down. There's a line that he says as the family's all packing up to leave. He goes, "It's 3:00 and the goddamn Flintstones haven't left yet."
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that that is called back at the end of the movie?
Yeah, when he says yabba dabba do, when he gets back home when he's dropped off at the limo.
I always wondered at the end of the movie, why the hell does he say yabba dabba do? And it's because he's returning to the Flintstones.
Yes.
One thing I was waiting for, kind of a humorous callback throughout the movie, was one of the last pieces of advice the niece gave to Charlie, which is, don't let him call the 900 numbers.
He likes to talk dirty.
I was waiting for at some point to him getting caught talking on the phone.
Because ultimately, Charlie does take the job. He kind of gets guilted into it.
She begs him.
Yeah,
She
pretty
needs some
much.
time off.
Yeah.
So then we are back onto the Baird campus, and we get that bit that we were just talking about a few moments ago where you get George. He's begging for that book that he's not going to come through at all. And then the next thing you know, they are outside and
They come across the prank being set up.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't quite too sure what was going to happen with that prank. I forgot what had happened, but it seems pretty elaborate.
Yeah, and it was curious watching the deliberateness of the setup of that. That being, you have several parking spots right in front of the school, and you see Trask show up, and the boys commenting about the Jaguar, and his car is the only car in that little parking lot. It's just like, okay, clearly this is going to be something later because it's so obvious over the top.
Yeah.
I would thought that when that voice comes over the intercom or whatever during the prank, that they would have recognized it because the guy was kissing his ass just earlier. Maybe he doesn't remember all the kids, but
yeah, I don't know. But it was definitely an over the top prank.
I don't think it was anything that deserved expelling anyone over. But
coating your Jaguar in paint, I would have expelled some motherfuckers too.
I thought it was just like cream or something.
Okay, but on top of that, Trask is publicly humiliated in front of the school.
Yeah. But my question was, so you saw the big balloon get blown up, right? And it turns around, kissing ass. Ha, ha, ha. There's your moment.
What the fuck are you thinking that you're going to take care of it right now with your car right underneath it? You are an idiot.
And don't you see the fucking bottom of it? It looks like a nipple, right? Because of the paint was at the bottom.
What a moron.
So you play dumb games, you win dumb prizes. Your dumb prize is a paint-covered Jaguar. And so
we get this interrogation that Mr. Trask with Willis and Sims. It's curious that he chooses to interrogate them together.
Well, because I guess one of the other women on the faculty, she shows up again at the end of the movie, but she witnessed them knowing that they had witnessed the prank.
Right. And so that's really what tips Trask off.
Mm-hmm.
And so he calls in Sims and Willis. And you're right. You're interviewing them together, which seems like a weird tactic. But
that's a rookie tactic.
Yeah. And he's like, Mrs. Hunsaker said you saw people out there. Who is it? And they denied.
They both keep quiet.
Denied.
Yeah, Charlie just keeps saying, I cannot say.
Yeah.
So Trask ups the ante and he says school will be halted until the investigation is complete. And if we are no further along, then both of you will be expelled.
And then he tells Willis Jr. to get the fuck out of his office. And he says, poor boy, sit down. I want to talk to you.
He throws him a bribe.
Throws him a carrot.
Let me ask you guys this. Would you have taken it?
No.
I would probably not, but I would get a lot of pressure from my parents to tell on the rich assholes.
I would have fucking taken it in a heartbeat, but I would have led with this. I want it in writing. I want a full ride, and I want all of this. How about you take the weekend and think about it?
That's a great compromise. Based on where Charlie was, that he didn't want his family involved in it at all. That's why I said, no way would I do it. But if my parents are involved, yeah, I'd have a really tough time saying no to everybody.
And first and foremost, fuck those guys.
Well, I kept
Why would you take the heat for assholes?
The only thing
people do it all the time, but
Totally.
that's what I would do.
The only thing I could think of is if he had squealed, he'd be known as the squealer. He'd be known as the guy who turned on his fellow students, and he would just basically be isolated at the school.
And
His
Yeah,
life
but
would
guess
be
what?
hell.
I'm going to fucking Harvard. I'll sit in my dorm room by myself. I don't give a fuck.
My first thought is, why would you throw away your future life, your future career, everything for these guys that you don't even like? I understand honor and
Sure.
dignity and all that, but I wouldn't throw away my life to protect them who did something stupid.
And that's what we get to explore with Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, he's back at Frank's place, and the family's leaving for the weekend. You get that last little bit, no 900 numbers and all that. And then the moment they leave, Frank has Charlie packing his stuff up.
Where are we going, Colonel? You're on a need-to-know basis. Hooah!
Freak Show Central, New York City.
I had to laugh. So he's getting everything ready, and this is also kind of an important scene, really, because we see Charlie go to help Frank,
Oh, yeah.
right? And he says, "You touch me again, you son of a bitch, I'll fucking kill you," right? I'm blind, I touch you, right? Those are the rules.
Yep.
And they
I've
kind of
used
go
that
through their
line a
thing.
few times.
I'm sure you have, buddy.
Damn it, I wish I would have told you guys I was blind. Maybe you would have stopped.
Yeah, so that's kind of an important bit, because as the movie goes on, we see Charlie actually grab Frank and Frank be perfectly fine with it. So it's
Right.
it's a stepping stone.
Right. And then by the end of the movie, it's the other way around, but we'll get to that.
Yes. And Charlie's like, "Dude, where are we going?"
He's
And
like,
he says, New York.
I can't leave. I got shit to do.
Really?
I got to be here at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, what do you got to do? He says, right? And he says, "Okay, I'll take you, but I'm coming right back."
And they fly first class.
And so they take off, and they kind of have a little conversation on the plane.
Frank talks about, women.
And this is the writing, right? This is more of that writing that Frank comes off as a little,
Abrasive.
I was going to go with pervy, but
Sexist.
No.
no, not sexist. He's not degrading or mean.
He has a deep appreciation for the female form.
Yes, he does. And maybe he has an old school way of displaying that.
Yeah.
How about that?
So in short, he's still horny.
Yeah.
Did we just justify this guy being horny?
I'll say he lost his eyesight, not everything else.
Well, and in fact, all of his other senses have, in fact, increased, because we get the whole bit where he can smell the
we'll get to
the
that.
shampoo.
Yeah.
Well, how does he know it's Daphne? Oh, the flight attendant, he knows her name, and he astonishes Charlie, and Charlie's like, "How the fuck do you know her name?" And he deduces down.
Because of her fragrance that she's wearing and her accent.
Yeah, and so the senses are heightened.
Well, one of the things I really like is he gives that whole kind of spiel about how much he likes women. And the next line that Charlie has is, I guess you really like women.
Yeah, I guess so.
And he says, that's the thing that he likes most, second only to Ferraris.
Next thing you know, we are arriving at the Waldorf Astoria.
In New York, Frank reveals his true intentions: to indulge in one final weekend of luxury, fine dining, women, and adventure before ending his life. As they move through the city, Charlie is caught between enabling Frank's plan and trying to steer him towards something better. Their journey includes a tense Thanksgiving visit with Frank's family, where the truth about his blindness emerges, not from heroic combat, but from a reckless accident. The revelation deepens Frank's self-loathing, but also shows his growing bond with Charlie, especially when he defends him in a heated confrontation. Back in the city, Frank embraces life one last time, most memorably when he dances the tango with a stranger, showcasing charm and confidence despite his blindness. But his emotional state continues to spiral. A reckless joyride in a Ferrari briefly lifts his spirits, but the high doesn't last. Charlie finally confronts Frank when he realizes the suicide plan is imminent. In a powerful turning point, he stops Frank from pulling the trigger, forcing him to face his pain rather than escape it. So here we are, New York City, the Waldorf Astoria.
And I like how Frank kind of leads him on saying, okay, once we get all settled, you can't fly out tonight because we've already missed that deadline. You can fly out tomorrow. And just keeps kind of fucking him over, keeping him around.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, where does Frank have all this fucking money?
Well, he does say that
Totally.
he's been collecting it from his disability checks or something like that from the military. But I'm wondering, when did he get to the bank to get all that cash out?
Before the movie started.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that, you know what? He is spending all of his remaining money, and he's going to go out not having any extra money to give to anybody else.
I completely forgot about this suicide subplot.
Really?
Yes, I completely forgot about it. I remember the ending, I remember the tango, and I remember the hoo-ah, right? But Charlie doesn't know that yet. And they get to the hotel.
Okay.
Well, it kind of sounds like a joke when he first says like what his plan is. He tells his plan and he says, oh yeah, and then I'm going to blow my brains out at the end. And Charlie just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Well, they're at dinner, right? And Frank says, I'll get you the last I'll get you the last shuttle out of LaGuardia. I never send my aides home hungry. Have a meal with me. So they go down or they go to this restaurant after getting a limo. And this whole interaction and how Pacino just picks up the phone and gets a limo, talks to these people like he's the shit, right?
Yes,
It's that confidence and that.
Well, apparently he's well known in New York.
Is he?
But
nobody alive could validate that. People that he's charming are just taking his word for it.
Yes. And that's what I noticed immediately. What we always get from Frank is that he is electric with activity, and always the agenda, we're moving forward. And when he gets to the hotel, he's on the phone. It's just like, man, he is just like working the phones. What the heck is that? He is so confident with himself. And then, we're down in the limo, and this is where Charlie starts to confess that he has a little bit of an issue waiting for him back home. And so it comes out in little bits and pieces during the arc of the movie as Frank discovers what Charlie is up against.
One of the things I love is we kind of keep getting these little dramatic things from Frank and a little bit from Charlie and the interactions. And then every so often, subtly is thrown in, like when Frank talks to the guy at the hotel and talks to Manny in the limo, we're going to get a really good escort.
Yeah. And another thing that I noticed when I was watching it last night, this movie is a lot funnier than I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't classify it as a comedy at all.
No, and it's not quite dark humor.
It has its moments.
But it brings such levity, and it's genuinely funny. And I love that about this film.
It's that awkward humor bit that I think that probably is what is at play.
Come on, let's fucking say it. It's fucking Pacino.
Yeah,
right? His lines are just have me rolling. So.
But when he's in the limo, after Charlie shares a little bit, this is where he talks about, I want to make a little tour of pleasures, stay in a first class hotel, eat an agreeable meal, drink a nice glass of wine, and see my big brother. Nothing like family, and then make love to a terrific woman. After that, and you get this long pause, and then that's where Charlie says, yeah. I'm going to lie down in my big, beautiful bed, and I'm going to blow my brains out. And you're like, holy shit.
That
He's
got
serious.
And then,
He is serious.
And then I remember thinking, oh, yeah, that happens.
Well, it reminded me back when he was having Charlie get his uniform together. Oh, that's right. He wants to die in his uniform.
Totally. And so the night's over, and they're back upstairs, and we have Frank telling them, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start at 0700. And then you get Charlie with that so nonchalant, you don't even think about it, throw it away. He gives a little quiet salute, and holy shit, don't fuck with me, boy. Don't fuck with me, Charlie.
Well, I like how he says, no, this is how you do the salute. And he tells me you got to snap your wrist and all that. And then he says, just kind of quietly, he's just walking away, and don't do that again.
right after that he says, "Don't fuck with me, Charlie," he says, oh so gently, "See that you get a good night's sleep, son." But he slams the door. So he's intense, and then he's gentle, but he slams the door.
And I noticed that whenever he does go off on Charlie, moments later, his sentence will end with "son." And it'll be kind of a calming.
Yes. And how does Charlie always refer to Frank?
Colonel.
He calls him Colonel.
Calls him Colonel. Respect.
He does sir in the beginning and gets scolded for it.
Yes.
So you were saying the next morning he's getting fitted for the suit. I thought it was interesting that he also has Charlie fitted for an outfit.
I thought that was very generous of him. And I think it is his way of saying, come on, just hang out with me, right? Without coming out and saying it. And even Charlie's like, I got to go, you know. And Frank's like, one day. Give me one day.
Yeah, just give me one day.
And Charlie's like, all right, can I use the phone?
Yeah, I got to make a phone. Okay, but it's private. Well,
stay out of my fucking room.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all about the gun.
Yeah, well, I didn't put that together yet. I thought he had porn mags in there. And so Charlie actually calls.
He calls Willis. He's like, all right, so what's the move?
What's the moves? I love that term.
I like how throughout the thing, Frank is kind of telling him this is what's going to happen. He's foreshadowing Willis is going to go run to daddy.
Yep.
Well, we're not bringing parents into it. No, he's going to run to daddy and he's going to squeal.
I love how he says his name's probably George Sr. And when it comes to that, yeah, he totally does. And it's funny because, you know, Frank can kind of hear what's going on and he knows, like you said, John, exactly what's going to happen. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember the mentorship building, you know, every day, every moment throughout this film. And you can see somewhere in Pacino's face that he kind of does, he's starting to like Charlie a little bit, right? I mean, he's good enough to stay with him, even though he's paying him, but you know what I'm saying, right?
I think from the moment that Charlie starts telling him about what was going on and how he doesn't want to squeal, that Frank starts to see this is a kid with honor.
Yeah.
And to Frank, that's probably the most important thing, to have this honor. And that's why he defends him at the end, because he really, his respect grows for Charlie the more and more he sees.
Absolutely.
He's not a squealer.
So, all right. So we're going to go to the Big Brother's place, and Charlie's like, I don't want to go.
I love the line where he goes, did you tell him that I'm coming? And Frank goes, shit, I didn't tell him I was coming. I thought that was great.
I loved all of their reactions when he just shows up.
Oh, I know. And so they take Manny in the limo, Frank's brother's house.
Right. And they get to talk a little bit more about Charlie's predicament.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this a bit of advice. It's not advice, but it's this bit of insight that Frank shares with Charlie, that there are two types of people in this world: those who stand up and face the music, and those who run for cover. And what does Frank say? Cover is better.
They get to the house.
And they show up, and instantly everybody's uncomfortable.
I got the impression from this whole scene that Frank wasn't really there to see his brother or talk to his brother or anything like that. He was there just to let them vent on him and to kind of give them a little bit of closure before he leaves and goes and blows his brains out. It was like he had been an asshole his whole life, and he was trying to give them, because he just sits there and takes it. I mean, he just, you know, especially from that nephew or whatever, he takes all the abuse. It isn't until they say something shitty about Charlie that he loses his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense scene. And, you know, his older brother, just kind of sits there, and as his family, and really it's Randy, the oldest son, who has a problem with Frank. And
he isn't wrong with the stuff he says. He basically says, you've been an asshole your whole life, and you're just not a good guy.
And Frank's like, yeah, you're fucking right, so keep bringing it. And it's not, like you were saying, it's not until Randy said he calls Charlie Chucky, and Frank's like, don't do that. That's not his name, right? That's a warning. I love that. That's a warning. And then Randy's all pissed off, and he starts telling Charlie, do you want to know how he lost his eyesight? He was playing a fucking game with a grenade.
He was juggling grenades.
And what I did appreciate, though, through that whole story and the way they're painting the picture of Frank, after the story's over, one of the first things Frank says is, the dude he was with, he's okay, by the way, right? I was the only one that got fucked up. But And then they go on.
Yeah, and when they finally part, and he says to his older brother, he says, "I'm no fucking good, and I've never been." And that I took as that's just him saying goodbye to his brother.
Yes, absolutely. And
The look on his brother's face too, like he almost recognized this is probably the last time I'm seeing him.
maybe.
Maybe I wouldn't disagree with that.
And so they leave. And now what was the next part of the plan?
So it's the next morning, and Charlie wakes up and he knocks on Frank's door, and Frank's in there working on his weapon. Got a watch?
Yeah, timing him.
Time me.
And Charlie sees the gun for the first time, and he starts thinking, oh, shit, maybe this guy is fucking for real.
I'm going to have to call Mrs. Ross. Good idea.
I love this bit. He pulls out the paper, and Frank snatches it out of his fucking hand.
Eats it.
I thought that was cute.
But Charlie insists, give me the bullets. And Frank hands it over right away. And I'm thinking, he's got more bullets than that.
Yeah, but I think he was done as a gesture, and, it made Charlie feel good, and it made Charlie stay, right? Charlie's like, okay, I'll fucking stay with you. Just give me the bullets.
All I want from you is another day. So, yeah, all right. Comes back, and now we're addressing Charlie's school issue again. And, it's like, do we follow this rich boy's code or not? And, do we let this blind asshole die or not? This is Frank's situation. This is Charlie's situation. What are we going to do here?
And so they go to this restaurant.
And then this is the whole tango bit.
What do you guys think of the tango bit?
It took them 3 weeks to do the choreography on that and 3 days to film it.
Oh, sure.
But I thought it was really good. I mean, he did a good job of looking like a blind man
Dancing
doing
the tango. Yeah,
I mean, because he was staring out, off into space the whole time.
Yeah, I need some coordinates.
And didn't he sniff her hair at some point?
Oh, he sniffs every woman's hair in this.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. I mean, there's scenes where women just walk by and he's just sitting there. You can see him inhale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who are we drinking with? I'm getting a nice soap and water feeling from down there.
And, and that's a great opening line, right? Because he goes up to her and tells her that he can smell her, and he identifies it. And she's like, oh, that's my grandmother's soap. And he's like, I love your grandmother. And so he starts talking to Donna and talking up Charlie a little bit. And then he asks her, who are you waiting for? What do you want to do? And he asks her,
would you like to learn to tango?
Yeah.
Because she mentions that.
And she goes immediately, right now?
Yeah.
Well, before that, she mentions that she wanted to take tango lessons, but her fiance or boyfriend or whatever just thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, he thought the tango was ridiculous.
Was ridiculous. And so right there, Frank sees his in on it.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily notice this, but, as they get up and they do the tango, Frank never tells them to play the tango. They just automatically do it.
Well, I assumed the song before was kind of a tango song, too.
Maybe. I wouldn't know because I don't tango.
Yeah.
Don, do you tango?
Only on days that end in Y. When the music first starts, I can't help it. Every single time, no matter what movie I'm watching, when I hear the violin start, it's True Lies.
That's right.
Do you know what I think of?
That's where I go to.
Addams Family.
No, True Lies.
Yeah, True Lies.
I always think Addams Family.
But I thought the scene was very cute.
It is so
and
sweet.
It's lovely. Yes,
It is so sweet.
absolutely.
Yeah, but again, I had forgotten how short her scene was because right after they finish the dance, the boyfriend shows up and they quickly leave.
I like how Frank wants to pay, and that douche Michael's like, no, I couldn't do it. And Pacino's like, dude, I'm going to do it.
I got my hand in my pocket.
Yeah. And so, no, he says, keep your hand in your pocket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I thought that was a nice bit.
And so now it's evening time, and Frank heads upstairs to his alone time with the lady.
Yeah, I like how they just kind of sit. I appreciated in this movie that we didn't need to see it. We didn't even need to see her.
Totally.
I just like how he leaves. Charlie and Manny just kind of stay in the limo. And then he comes back down with that smile on his face and how she was just an amazing woman or something like that.
You appreciate that?
What a beautiful
Yeah.
woman.
I didn't need, it was something you just didn't need to see. I think it kind of was more poignant being he's blind and everything, that how he coming back and just seeing his like appreciation.
Hey, he knew what he wanted, and he went out and got it.
And Manny did a good job.
I say good for him.
I was mildly surprised that his tie was completely tied and he was completely dressed again, as opposed to looking a little bit looser.
Yeah, but he's put together, right? I think even after the post-coital bliss, he would put himself back together. I like before he goes in, he starts checking himself, right? He's got the red hanky, the double Windsor.
Wants to know about his hair.
Yep.
Do you know the one thing this movie was missing?
Robert De Niro.
In the meantime, when Charlie is waiting, he decides to call Willis, and he finds out, okay, parents are getting involved. Your dad's getting involved? Oh, boy.
I like how he goes, can I speak to George? And the guy on the phone goes, which one? And immediately it clicked that Frank totally nailed it with that his name was George. Yeah. So now we know that George Jr. has George Sr. in his corner and Charlie has nobody.
Well, you get to know that obviously George Jr., they make the impression that he's being punished. So right there, you can see his parents are coming down on him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so the next morning,
he's watching, what is it, the Addams Family?
Munsters.
He's watching the Munsters. That's right. And he finally decides to knock on the door. Colonel, are you all right? Come to find out, it's the afternoon. And this is the first time we see the Colonel not put together, not on his game, not giving, this is what we're going to do.
Well, every morning before that, he was the one waking Charlie up. He was always up and dressed and everything before Charlie. This is the first time Charlie's been awake before him.
And I had to ask myself, when we find out that it's noon.
It's afternoon.
And Charlie has been instructed to get up at 0700 every morning. Wouldn't you think like at 0900 he would have checked on the Colonel?
Well, he's a little afraid still, I think, for pissing him off.
I think he's intimidated by the Colonel.
And
sure, absolutely. But he does also know in the back of his mind that the Colonel wants to kill himself.
But he had an energetic evening.
Okay, I'll give you that. Pacino's lying in bed, and he's all lethargic, doesn't want to do anything, and O'Donnell starts to panic, right?
He thinks, because he knows the end is near, potentially.
Right, and so he goes, let's go for a ride. And Pacino's like, yeah.
Wait, what kind of a ride?
Let's go for a ride.
Well, that's right, the Ferrari.
Cut to the Ferrari dealership. The salesman is like, no fucking way am I letting you...
17-year-old and a blind guy in a Testarossa?
Noise, right?
That we don't do.
And insert Frank's charm and personality and...
a $2,000 bribe.
And there you go. Cut to...
out they go.
Charlie's driving. Hey, this is fun, Frank, right? And
but he doesn't know how to drive stick.
No, and Frank is still kind of just sitting there.
It's anticlimactic for him.
I love how he says downshift and then get going.
Put it in second gear.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. I love manual cars. I would drive a manual car any day of the week.
I did have a huge issue with this scene. Not the fact that they let the blind man drive, but if you've been to New York, when have they the road's been that clear?
You beat me by half a second, dude. I was saying that all night last night. I said, where did they film this? Jersey?
Where in New York would it ever look like that?
Exactly.
I mean, there was no cars on the road.
And that alley seemed to go on for miles.
Yeah.
And again, if you've ever been to New York, that place doesn't exist unless you shut it down. Yeah.
So here we have Frank, and he is on the joyride of his life.
I thought it was cute where he kept saying, I'm going to turn left. If you don't tell me, I'm just going to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
But probably one of the most humorous scenes, the funniest scenes, is getting pulled over by the cop.
How awesome was that? So good.
I love how he's trying to look at the officer, but his eyes aren't quite there.
Yeah. And he fucking pulls it off. He charms the officer.
Talks his way out of it.
Doesn't get a ticket. And now they got to take the Ferrari back.
And you can see Charlie over in the other seat just shitting bricks.
We're back out on the street, and Frank is back to his lethargic way. They're standing there at the intersection. I'm tired of waiting. And he starts walking right across the street. Doesn't want to wait anymore. Okay, this is his half-ass attempt to maybe I can kill myself this way, maybe.
Maybe. And he doesn't, and they get across, and he's keep walking. He falls into a trash can and falls into a bush.
Apparently the trash can wasn't planned. That was just something that happened, and the director liked how it looked, so he kept in it.
Yeah, it looked real.
I'm tired, Charlie. Take me back to the hotel, son.
And so they go back to the hotel, and Charlie's like,
What
oh,
the fuck?
shit.
Because Frank is completely out of it.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, this is the end for Frank. He has nowhere else to turn, nothing else left to do on his agenda. There's one thing left.
And
Blow his brains out.
And so
Charlie, he calls George, and it turns out that he's not allowed to talk to anybody from the school. And Frank, okay, what am I? Fuck, this is so fucked. And Frank sends him off. Why don't you get me? I need an aspirin. Oh wait, get me a couple of cigars too. So he sends Charlie off.
He even says a Cuban cigar, which is actually illegal at that time. He had to go to a special place and talk to a special person to actually be able to buy one of these. So he's sending him on a long trip.
Yeah.
And Charlie gets down to the hotel lobby.
Ding, light
puts
bulb.
2 and 2 together, and he heads back up. And this is where Frank's like,
You're back too fast.
And you didn't get my cigar, did you?
Yeah.
And he's getting dressed in his dress blues. And he's got the gun.
This is the most intense scene of like this movie and a lot of movies. I mean,
and
all Charlie says is, "Why don't you just give me the gun?"
yeah,
He just keeps saying it, and Frank, he's like, "Man, I'm gonna kill you."
well, I shouldn't say I liked it, but I thought it was a great, again, the dialogue of Frank basically telling Charlie, your life is over anyway because you're going to squeal or you're not going to squeal. So your life's over. Why don't I just kill you too?
Because he says, I can't bear the thought of you selling out.
And then so Charlie calls him on his bullshit and says, all right, let's fucking go. Let's fucking do it. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Shoot me. Shoot me. Shoot me.
And he's got that tear that comes down his face. And that I thought was a very poignant scene.
And I think that is the moment that turns Frank. When Charlie says, all right, go ahead, fucking kill me too. Frank's like, I can't kill this kid. What the fuck am I doing?
He says, you break my heart, son. All my life, I stood up to everything because it made me feel important. You do it because you mean it. You got integrity, Charlie. I don't know whether to shoot you or adopt you. I'm bad. No, I'm rotten. You're not bad. You're just in pain. It's just like, bing, right there. That's the moment that we get the turn that Frank is allowed to take.
And Frank kind of backs off, and then he starts challenging Charlie. He's like, what the fuck do you know about pain? You're 17.
Yeah, he also asked Charlie what do I got to live for?
And I love the line where he says, or if he says, name 2 things to make me not kill myself.
I thought he was going to say tits as one of them.
I thought he was going to say pussy was the other. But, Charlie says you're the best tango dancer and Ferrari driver I've ever seen. And I like how Frank says, well, you haven't seen any. So
Frank is in a black place. And this black place of a hole of his life, he doesn't know how to dig himself or get himself out. And Charlie is offering him a lifeline right now. You just keep on tangoing.
This movie had a lot of great lines, but it was missing just one. They should have shown Frank checking out, getting the bill, finding out how much that bill actually was, and saying something along the lines of, I should have blown my brains out.
No, fuck you.
returning to Baird, Charlie faces the disciplinary committee. George wavers under pressure, offering uncertain testimony, but Charlie refuses to betray his classmates despite the consequences. Just as Charlie's future seems doomed, Frank arrives unexpectedly. In a fiery, unforgettable speech, he defends Charlie's integrity and condemns the school's moral hypocrisy. His words shift the room. Charlie is cleared, the guilty students are punished, and George gains nothing for his attempted cooperation. In the aftermath, Frank shows signs of renewal. As Charlie escorts him home, Frank reconnects with his family and begins to re-engage with life, no longer defined solely by bitterness, but by the possibility of change. Roll credits.
Hooah!
Right before we leave the hotel room, Frank is like, I can't surrender my firearm. And he says, you don't have to surrender. Just put it down. And so they begin to unwind and chat. We're thinking, okay, for this moment, Frank is okay. But then you have housekeeping show up, and she's like, wait, no, go ahead. And then Frank gives a little, yeah. Okay, Frank and his one-track mind. Now we start to realize that Frank has he has a little bit of buoyancy, and he's coming back up to the surface a little bit more from that deep, dark place that he was, because he's like, oh, yeah. With the maid.
And I like how he says, or Charlie says, oh, fuck, we missed our plane. And Frank's like, you missed your plane. I only bought a one-way ticket.
Yeah.
And so they have Manny drive them all the way back to New Hampshire.
We also get a tender moment before that where Frank reveals his deepest desire. And his deepest desire, it's like, holy shit, he probably hasn't had that before, because he's always been a dick all his life.
Yeah, and kind of a no-brainer.
What was his deepest desire?
Someone to love. Someone to wrap their arms around him in the morning.
Right. And it's the next morning, and they still are there. They still want to be with him the next morning. And he also mentions the smell of her. Yeah.
Yeah. And Zach and I were talking last night. They missed so many great opportunities to work the title of the film into the film.
It should have been said.
Because that's what he was into. He was into the scent of a woman.
Yeah, he should have said at the end when he meets that girl, the scent of a woman.
Because, what do we get? We get at least 3 different examples where he is able to recognize the fragrance that the ladies are wearing.
Yeah. And on their way back to New Hampshire, I do believe this is where Frank asks Charlie about his dad.
I'm getting that heavy feeling again, Charlie.
And Charlie tells him he left.
Yeah.
It's my mom and stepdad, and me and him don't really see eye to eye.
And, Frank's really good right here. He really opens himself tenderly to Charlie here on this car ride back. And
I was kind of shocked that when they got back, the first bell goes off and Charlie goes, oh, I have enough time to get ready. I was kind of shocked that Charlie didn't turn to him and say, okay, I'll come see you in a couple days or
I was
something.
Thinking a similar thing. Why didn't you say something rather than just goodbye?
Well, Frank doesn't like goodbyes, right? So he got what was kind of the best thing and the next best thing.
And then we get this last little bit, which was so tender, and he feels his face.
Yep. The first time he got to feel what Charlie looked like.
And I was just waiting for him to say, fuck, pimples.
Cut to
the proceedings, and they begin.
And they have he's sitting at a table on the stage in front of the whole school.
And George and George Sr. are across from him. Everything's on display. And the headmaster's like, hey, I told you guys everybody's coming together. We're going to find out what happened, and you're all fucked. And as he's going through the opening and the welcome and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, Traskey's doing his lofty speech.
Manny and spruced up Frank walk into the door. And it's one of those moments I felt that I knew it was going to happen, but I remember feeling back when I saw it, it was one of those moments where you go, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he makes his way down.
I like how he not only makes his way down, but he comes up and he joins and sits next to Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
you have room for me up there, Charlie?
Yeah. And he gets to sit next to him, and they go through the proceedings. And now Trask is asking
George. Yeah, he gets the interrogation first.
And he's like, I didn't have my contacts in. I can't see without my contacts.
But eventually he does break him down, and he squeals on the fruit.
If I had to pick,
it's deflect.
Yeah.
But he does actually name names.
And then he throws it right at Charlie and says, well, Charlie saw him better.
And then so Trask turns around and goes, well, Charlie, what do you got for me?
All the focus is now on Charlie.
And Charlie's like, oh, I couldn't really say. And Trask starts to dig in a little bit. You couldn't or wouldn't? And, it kind of goes on.
Did you notice? I thought this was interesting too, because Frank is staying quiet at this point, and I think the reason why he's staying quiet is he's letting it be Charlie's decision. He's not trying to influence Charlie to squeal at all at this point. He's waiting to see what Charlie does, and he's going to back him either way.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point of him coming to sit next to him, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to jump in there right away. But when he fucking does,
he's going to offer his moral support, whatever Charlie decides to do. Absolutely. And you get this little bit from Trask, well, by dire, I mean your future will be jeopardized permanently.
And so it comes down to he recommends Charlie for expulsion.
And then with that, Mr. Sims, you are a cover-up artist and you are a liar, but not a snitch. He just belts it into the hallway.
And he starts to give his speech.
I like how Trask says something along the lines of, order, order.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade? No, I'm just getting warmed up. And this is where we get Colonel Slade go full Colonel Slade.
And all he really does is just call them on their bullshit. And he does it in front of everybody, and he does it in a way that everybody can understand. And I like how he throws out I'm not going to mention any names, but you're bribing people. And
the bribe plays a pivotal part into what makes the integrity of Charlie work.
Well, chances are, because the headmaster is the way he is, I bet you, if Charlie didn't get it in writing, he would have given up the guys, and then when it came time for Harvard, the headmaster would have been like, I don't remember saying any of that shit.
The big thing I thought was, we start with Trask, and Trask is making it out to be like, you have integrity, you have honor, so you should squeal on your, the other, you should turn on them because that's the high bar that we set at this. But then, Frank turns it around to basically say, you want to develop men, these boys into men who will stand together, who will protect each other, who are there for each other, and will not squeal on each other. They have honor, like soldiers would. And so he turns around. I think that's what really helps him.
There are so many memorable Pacino performances, and I think this specific scene is easily in like the top 3 of his all-time performances.
Yeah. I think this got him the Oscar.
Because I agree. And this blew me away. And I love how he calls them on their bullshit. He says, don't take away his future, you guys.
Well, the biggest thing is he really, Charlie did nothing wrong. All he's just doing is not tattling on other boys. He wasn't the one who did the prank. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So why punish him?
Yeah, well, they have to make an example out of somebody, and you're going to make it out of the guy who's on scholarship, right? Not the rich kids, because they even say, George nothing's going to happen to him because his dad pays too much money. So he turns to Charlie and he says, I'm sorry, it's going to be taken out on you. And, Slade does his speech, brings the house down. It's just so good. And so after this impassionate speech, Trask says, we're going to go reconvene in private.
Well, I like how he says, we'll reconvene in private and we'll have an answer like by tomorrow. And that group was like, no, we've got an answer now.
And they came back, and it turns out that the 3 douches that George named are on probation. Nothing's going to happen to George.
He is neither exemplified or degraded, but yeah, he's got shit on him. And I love the look that we get from George, because it's a total defeated look. His eyes are closed. He's mouthing, oh my God. I just love the way he looked here. So broken.
Well, he knows that he's now the squealer at the school. He knows that, his life at that school is over. But you notice when the 3 kids are given probation, it didn't really even faze them very much. They just went, okay.
Yeah, well, it's probation.
They're just all rich kids. It's not a big deal.
But the point is that Charlie is exonerated and his future is still intact.
And right after that, the entire school erupts with a huge roar of approval.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not really an approval for. I mean, it is for Charlie, but it was really for Frank.
Ultimately, I think the school is saying justice has been served.
Sure.
But even more important is as they're leaving the building, I liked when that history teacher comes up to talk to them. And right there, you get the spark, the inkling of Frank's going to get his one wish.
And right before that happens, though, as they're walking out of the building, this is where I mentioned at the beginning of the movie that things kind of sort of come all the way around, because the two of them, they're walking out together, and as they leave, Charlie, he says, "Last step." And what does Frank say right afterwards? "I can always count on you, Charlie."
And he does.
And so with that, it's like, okay, these two guys right now, they are bonded for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's what I got out of it.
I would like to think that, I know that Frank later says to him, "Visit me before you fly home for Christmas." I'd like to think that Charlie kept on visiting him.
Oh, I like to think that too. I like to think that it was a weekly thing. They would go for their walks.
Yep.
They would catch up on life.
They go for a drive
and-
with Frank behind the wheel.
Yeah, sure. Let's repeat that. And Charlie and him take the limo back to Frank's house.
Yep.
And, he does the yabba dabba doo line. And instantly you see a different Frank. He interacts with his great grandniece and
before
great
he wouldn't have
grandnephew.
nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also dug how he flatters Manny. Manny, this is just another job for him, but Manny seemed to be sincerely touched by Frank.
Well, fuck, he gave him a bunch of cash. I would be too.
But Manny also got to see him in the hall, right? The whole proceedings. He got to see that too.
Yeah.
And he got to hear Frank's story just the same as, more or less, Frank did too.
I love in movies where someone gives someone a big wad of cash and they kind of shake it and they go, "Oh no, this is way too much."
And so, up the driveway Frank goes, and he encounters Francine, and then you can automatically tell that, okay, Frank, he's got a gentler heart towards the kids now.
And he interacts with both of them. We cut back to...
His heart has grown 2 more sizes.
Three more sizes.
3 more sizes.
And we cut back to Charlie's face. He's smiling. The music swells. And we fade to black.
I was waiting for Charlie to salute him one more time.
I was too, kind of, but Frank said, "Don't fucking do that again." So there it is that.
True that.
And that was Scent of a Woman. All right, what do you guys think? You guys ready to rate this flick?
I'm ready to rate this flick. How about you, John? Are you ready to rate this flick?
Well, I'm all out of Jack Daniels, and I don't have any women to sniff, so I guess I'm ready to review this movie.
Hey, that's the one.
Yeah, that is.
Hey, Professor, how do we do our ratings?
We do our ratings on a scale of 1 to 5 fucks. 5 fucks is a movie that we think is cinematic gold. And a 1 fuck movie is, I'm never watching that movie again.
And what's a 0 fuck?
A 0 fuck movie is where you turn to your buddy and you're like, "Oh, for shit's sake, what the hell? Why would you make me watch? I want 2 hours and 36 minutes of my life back."
Or in other words, we just don't give a fuck. All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, go
Been
for
a
it,
while.
buddy.
Before I do,
Yeah.
Don, what is my rating?
I think you were going to give Scent of a Woman, let's go with 4 1/4 fucks.
4 1/4 fucks, your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Scent of a Woman is powered almost entirely by Al Pacino's Oscar-winning performance. It's an emotional roller coaster, making you hate Frank one moment and love him the next. Pacino's delivery and razor-sharp dialogue keep you hooked, always waiting to hear what outrageous or shocking line comes next. Chris O'Donnell was okay as the naive sidekick, but he was completely overshadowed, in my opinion. The disciplinary hearing stands tall as an all-time Hollywood moment, right up there with Jack Nicholson and A Few Good Men, in my opinion. Pacino has delivered countless iconic roles, but this might be my favorite so far. Even the music hits hard. It sets a tone in a way that sticks with you. It's for those reasons I'm giving Scent of a Woman 4.5 out of 5 fucks.
4.5 fucks from the comic book guy. I'll go next. Son of a Woman was a great film. I remember seeing it way back when, and watching it again last night just kind of confirmed how good of a film it really was. I don't remember it being as funny as it is. I think the humor adds a lot to it. The soundtrack is great. The cast is really good. Pacino blows it out of the water. Easily 4.5 fucks from me. You're up there, buddy.
Scent of a Woman is a movie I've seen, as I said, a couple of times, and it is a rich watch each time I've seen it, and it doesn't disappoint. The movie definitely holds up from what I remember in my memory, and listening to the story being told today, and having the characters of Frank and Charlie on their own emotional journeys that independently are, suffering and hurting and languishing and don't know what to do. And it's through the bond that they end up sharing over their Thanksgiving weekend that they find strength and are able to, come out on top at the end. It is a rewarding and satisfying conclusion to the movie, watching what the two characters are being pushed through. Frank is absolutely going through the meat grinder, and he is at the end. There is nothing left for him. And to see him come back from the depths, it is such a rewarding feeling. And for those of us that have had somebody in our life that has gone away because of a suicide, it resonates a little bit harder, a little bit deeper as we watch Frank in his supposed final moments of his life, that he is here at the bottom. And to think about people in our lives that have gone away and they didn't have a Charlie there, or maybe they did have a Charlie, but it just wasn't enough to pull them back out. To have the resonance of a real life experience that you put into the context of this fictional story makes it hit that much harder. And it's that much more satisfying at the end to have Frank come out and still be in part of the story, that we are encouraged to believe that he and Charlie will continue on long past the story of this Thanksgiving weekend being told. Al Pacino delivers in spades. I think this is his finest role. He is absolutely deserved of the Academy Award. Chris O'Donnell's character shines. Chris O'Donnell is good. I think that his I don't want to say docile, but his gentle nature, his gentle but determined and firm nature is done very well by him. And I really appreciate the Charlie character being so strong to handle the overbearing, this gregarious, outlandish, just crazy character that he's supposed to be babysitting. And he's just along for this crazy ride. And yet he still lands on his feet at the end. Thomas Newman's music just really, really makes those emotional notes in the tender moments of the movie, or the intense moments of the movie work so well. This movie just shines so brightly in having the nuances of these characters that we get to watch as they continue to the end of the movie. It really makes me good, and it really makes me feel good inside. It's a solid 4.5 fuck movie.
With 4.5 fucks from the three guys, that gives Scent of a Woman an average of, you guessed it, 4.5 fucks, which now puts it in the 7th spot with Shaun of the Dead, Snatch, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, John Wick 3, The Princess Bride, Prey, and Sin City. It is slightly better than Rear Window, Toy Story, Up, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Alien, and Superman the movie. And it is slightly worse than Rocky, Stand By Me, A Quiet Place, Ocean's 11, The Goonies, and Good Will Hunting.
Man, that's some good company.
So there you have it, boys. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Three Guys in a Flick. If you would like to know which movie we're going to be reviewing next, please check out the website. Speaking of which, hey, John, where can they find us?
They can find us at threeguysinaflick.com, where we go ahead and post all of our movies. All of the podcasts are there. You can listen to them. And there's a form on there that you can leave a comment and a movie you would like to go in the helmet and have us review down the road. We've also added a button on there if you'd like to leave us a voicemail. And in the voicemail, say whatever you want. You got 2 minutes. You can even leave a movie review if you like. And if you say something interesting, we'll play it on the show. You can also find us at all of social media, where on Tuesdays I've been announcing what movie is coming out on this Thursday. And you can find us at any place that hosts podcasts. And while you're listening to us, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review. We'd love it. Leave us 5 stars if possible. And you can leave a comment in the comments if you want. Suggest a movie.
Speaking of comments, do we have any this week?
I do have one. I have one from Miles G, who was requesting that we review Kangaroo Jack. And the comment that he left was, "Keep doing what you do. The show has evolved amazingly over the years."
Thanks, Miles G. We appreciate the kind words. We also got one on Instagram from Steve S., who says, "Hey guys, been listening to you guys for over a year now. Just wanted to say thanks. You are all doing a great job. Listening to you on my long walks really helps with my mental health, so thank you. Can I chuck in Howard the Duck and Days of Thunder into the Broncos helmet? Thanks, fuck off." And then he replied again just a little bit after that and says, "I didn't mean fuck off. I was just speaking your language."
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, Steve S., we got it, we get it, we love it, and Howard the Duck and Days of Thunder are now in the Broncos helmet.
Howard the Duck.
And we will fuck off.
Yes, we will. I also want to thank Ori for throwing this into the Broncos helmet. We had a lot of fun watching it and reviewing it. We hope you had a lot of fun listening to it. I also want to thank anyone who listens and who has suggested a movie. If you keep listening, we'll keep recording. For Three Guys in a Flick, I'm Don.
I'm John.
And I'm Ken. Thanks for listening.
And remember, when in doubt, fuck.
Hooah!
Three guys with some mics, yeah, dotted to the flicks. We're here for the real talk, no time for the tricks. Don is the captain, steering us right. Kid drops now to shedding light. John with the comics, bringing the hype. From the good, the bad, to the absurd. We break it down, make sure you heard. Passion for the screen, we ride or die about movies. You know we always give a fuck, no lie.
There was one person that left a comment. I don't know if you saw it. He's obviously like way back, like just started listening to us, and he says, like, great podcast. You guys just need to get rid of precious moments and spin the wheel.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I thought that was funny. You should have said, okay, well, if you insist.
Yeah, or they start with something new and they go, oh, hey, I like these guys, and then
That's
they go back
exactly
to
my
one,
point.
right? Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm with you on that
where
one.
they get a different flavor.
Yeah. They're like, God, these guys suck.
Howard the Duck is a fucked up movie to do. Because now that everything we know now...
Save it. Because that's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Because I got stuff to say about that stuff too.
Amen.
She fucks a duck.
And a bunch of other agents and henchmen.
I didn't fix that.
So
is it Anwar or Anwar?
What did I say?
You said Anwar.
I said Anwar.
Yeah.
I think
Or is
it's
it Anwar?
Anwar. I don't know.
I think it's Anwar.
Okay.
But
And I talked over you.
yeah, he talked over it.
I know.
So hit it again from the top.
Yes, sir. Hooah! Are you okay? Are you ready to get back on topic? Or are you guys just going to keep talking and add more for me to cut? Which, please and thank you.
Trick or treat?
Yes, it's trick or treat.
There you go. Just lean into it, bud, and he'll stop doing it.
The lever, that.
I also want to thank anybody who listens and who...
You got to thank the guy, too.
Thanks, Dickhead.
Yeah, thank him.
All right, what do you guys got? I got 2.
I got 1, but it doesn't even count.
I got 4, but I think we're going to have some of the same ones. So I say we start with the Professor.
Scent of a Woman. It writes itself.
Okay. I have Scent of Your Woman.
Well, I took Scent of a Woman up a degree and made it Stank of a Woman.
Well, that's not bad. I have Cunt of a Woman.
I had Skank of a Woman. I have Squirt of a Woman. And the final one I had was Head from a Woman.
All right, what do you guys think?
I'm going to go with Squirt of a Woman, and I'll give that 3 tissues.
I will go with... Who doesn't love good squirting? 3.5.
I always say I'm not into the whole messy, so I'm going 2.75.
All right, well, there you go.
And may all your days and nights be filled with happiness. All right, fuck off. Good night.
Tune in to the world, catch the vibe. As three guys in a fight, keep the passion alive. Fuck that.